I'm gonna do
Boom.
fuck it. Let's see what happens. All right. My anti-socialites, welcome back to season 6.
Season 6.
Season 6. 6 is my favorite number. So as I was driving home from work tonight, I was like, I kind of need to have a theme of this season, and it's like the revisit. I don't know why. So I'm like revisiting favorite guests, favorite pastimes, favorite shit talking things. Maybe my commercial breaks will come back. I literally haven't even fleshed it out, but probably like 2 hours ago, I was like, it's the revisit. So, with that being said, we have a revisiting most welcome back guest ever, Beaux Emerson. Show them your waves.
Oh, get seasick, y'all. Don't get seasick. Behind the blue background, too.
We swimming over here. Yes. Oh my God. I'm so happy. You're my first guest back on season 6. I'm so excited. And
I'm
yeah,
honored because you're my friend in real life. So I mean, it's always good to talk to you anyway. But to be a part of recurring a guest on your show, and to see the growth and everything after all these seasons, I'm a proud friend, and I'm just happy to be here. So
thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, because you guys, just so you know, we are friends IRL. And Beau is always sharing my
yeah.
content. I'm horrible about sharing other people's at times, but I'm always looking out. I'm always supporting. I'm always like, yeah. And we always like talk shit in our group chat.
We
But it's
do.
just I haven't seen Beau's individual face in a very long time. So I'm so happy to have him back. So yeah, I'm so excited. But let me just start off with the fact that I was like, you know what? When did I interview Beau? When was my first? It was 2 years ago in
It was.
August. And I was like, wow, this is like way overdue to have you back on. So I'm super, super excited that you're back on here. Clearly, you've done a ton in the last 2 years since I've had you on, close to 2.5 years, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited. So let's kind of like start off on wherever you want to start off. I have a couple notes of like, I've been checking in on you, I've been stalking your life,
Let's talk about.
So I was like, I have a few talking points, but I'm going to kind of let you have the floor. Tell us what you have been up to in these last 2 years, whether it's a short story, long story, a scroll, an Aesop fable, whatever you
What's
want
that
it to
feel?
be.
No.
Yeah, just tell us.
Um. I just think, well, obviously we're alive. We're surviving this pandemic thing of COVID-19, which took a toll on everybody emotionally and physically. Whether you knew somebody who had it or didn't have it or passed away from it. So, getting through that, we're here, we're alive. Um, Lost my grandfather, which was a tough, deal a couple months ago, but uh, the blessings have been coming in as far as acting and music opportunities, and movies and things like that. So it's been busy over the past 2 years, but a good busy. Um, I just got finished doing Memphis, the musical, where I closed the first act with this big song. It's called "Say a Prayer," and it's a show-stopping song, and it's one of those things where it just reaffirmed my commitment and my talent. That, oh yes, I'm supposed to be. This is part of what I do. Uh, so that was fun, and I thought I was done for the rest of the year, and then this Saturday I'm actually going to be in Philly. They having it's a different take on the Nutcracker. It's called the Nutcracker Dipped in Chocolate. Yeah.
Oh,
And so it's
tell me more.
yes. So it's a production by the Chocolate Ballerina Company in Philly. And so it's the Nutcracker, but it's told through the eyes of black and brown children, ballerinas. And seeing them in the rehearsals, it is amazing. My job in this, I'm the narrator, so I am the storyteller. So I thread the each scene together. I have a costume and all kind of stuff. So
Wow, that's huge.
yeah, I'm rehearsing for that. Both there's 4 shows. I'm doing the first two, and they're sold out. So and it's the news is going to be there. Channel 6, all that kind of stuff. So that's an amazing opportunity to not only be seen, but to also be a part of something that you don't normally get to see from people of color, because when most people think of the Nutcracker, you don't really think of black people doing the Nutcracker. It's like, what is that? So, but the show is beautiful. When people go to see it, it's amazing. Recording new music. Well, in January I started recording new music. Uh, Book a commercial. I got to go to New York next Monday for something, and I have something Thursday. So it's I have no complaints. I really, if I could complain, I wouldn't, because it wouldn't be fair, because I'm doing something that somebody wished they were doing. So I take it as a blessing, and I don't take it lightly, being an example of what it means to follow your dreams. So I'm good.
Okay, and guys, that's the end of the interview because he literally just talked about all the talking points that I had listed in my phone in the notes app. So great seeing you, TTY.
Don't listen
No,
to her. Don't listen to her. Nope.
just kidding. No, but I'm so excited because you have been doing so much, and I was like low-key heartbroken. I was like, I wish I could come to a show to see you play in Memphis. And I was like, just scheduling it wasn't able to happen, but I was like, it would be amazing to see you on stage. I have plans this weekend, so I'm not going to be able to see you in the Nutcracker either. But I was like, hopefully, I see you on the stage soon. Let me know any gigs, and
Mm,
I'll fly down to Philly, come check it out. If you're in New York, wherever you may
yeah.
be, I'm like, let's do it, because you've also not only done live action things and being on stage, you've been in movies. Can you divulge a little bit into your silver screen career?
Yes, yes. That sounds so. It flows so effortlessly. The
I
silver
didn't
screen
I
career.
didn't plan this, but you
Yeah,
know
but
what? This is episode 76. I think I should be a little bit more comfortable
ah.
talking. So it is what it is.
um, my big screen debut next year is in a movie called Shaw, and yes, we filmed my scenes sometime last year, or late, somewhere around in there. Um, and I'm opposite. I think. Well, I'll say this. Um, JJ from Good Times stars in it. Thelma from Good Times. Michael from Good Times. Biz Marquis is in it. It's the last film he did before he passed. Tracy Braxton is in it. It's the last film she did before she passed. Big Daddy Kane is in this film. There are a lot of hosts of other um, actors, up and coming and established, in this, and um, I play a bad guy, and people are like, "Oh my
What?
God, your personality," and I can't even believe you as. I mean, wow, I'm an actor, so
I'm aghast right now.
there's like,
I
but
can't imagine
you're
that.
a regular person. You're such a nice guy. It's like, yeah, which means that's why you're gonna believe the character
Right.
I play.
Absolutely.
But I get to star opposite. Well, my some of my scenes are opposite the legendary actor Richard Lawson, who's worked with Diane Carroll and all that kind of stuff. So, and I actually got to drive him and his assistant home after filming, because there was no one else that could take them back to their Airbnb, and he was able to impart some industry knowledge to me, and he had no ego. It wasn't, I'm Richard Lawson. Don't you know I've been on, 100 TV shows and 3 river movies. He was just so down to earth, and it was nice to for him to take the lead and to give information, because a lot of people in the entertainment industry, sometimes they're not so nice, and sometimes they want to hold on to all the information themselves because they don't want somebody to get ahead. He was not like that at all. So that comes out in, I think it's first quarter. I'm not sure. It's been changed. It's been shot for a couple festivals first, Sundance and Cannes and things like that. But that'll definitely be coming out next year. So I'm excited about that. I was just in Hustle with Adam Sandler and Queen Latifah on Netflix, which was a really good movie. Um,
Has it been released yet?
hmm
So it is available to
on
view.
Netflix.
So anybody that has not viewed it, here's your opportunity. Like, we're
Yeah,
literally telling you have zero excuse. So
yeah,
no matter when you watch this interview, it's out. Okay.
it's out.
Yes. Okay, continue. Sorry.
No, you're fine. No, I filmed 3 days uh, for Hustle. I'm only it's funny because you can film a lot, and then just depending on how they edit the story, you can be in it that much, or you can be in it, whatever. So I'm literally in the movie for like maybe 20 seconds during the NBA combine thing. But the most important thing I took away from that was getting to talk to Adam Sandler, and him and I doing him and I start doing uh, the electric slide, which causes everyone else to join in and do the electric slide. So it ends up being behind the scenes footage for the movie. Down to earth, again, no ego, and you're thinking this is a guy who started on SNL, stand up comic, has been in so many movies that we grew up on, and he is just so down to earth, can play basketball. Like, again, people that leave a good aura about them when you meet them. It's not like don't meet your hero because you're mostly going to be trash. When you meet somebody who is established, but again doesn't mind having fun, doesn't take themselves too seriously, makes all the difference in the world. So I did that. Um, was I on? I did Making Good. I did Death Saved My Life on Lifetime. That came out earlier this year or no? Last year. I don't know. It's
We
been
didn't talk about it, so
We didn't
act
talk
like
about it. It was
no.
after, yes, right? Because we filmed it. Yeah, it was after. We filmed that in November of 2020, I think, and then it came out f- Valentine's Day 21. Yeah, so and I'm in the scene about maybe 3 minutes of a scene. I'm in there with Megan Good. Again, another person who so down to earth, and it was refreshing, Katie, to be on these sets with people with the main actors who were just so extremely nice and funny and didn't have all this ego. And there were some actors who were extras who felt the need like, well, I was in Land of the Lost or whatever, just I don't know.
Like, that was 35 years ago, sir.
Yeah,
Like,
what
that's
I stood next to Al Pacino when he was smoking it. Like, I don't care. Like,
but
whatever.
again, and like not to like diminish anybody's role, but you're like
Yeah,
you were an extra. You weren't the main character, even if you stood next to him. Yeah, you have bragging rights, but that does not make you any better than any of us here, whether you're an extra or you're the main
absolutely.
character. So like go fly a kite. See you later. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And then I did another movie that's not out yet, but it's called A Cup Full of Crazy, and it's about a woman who's a kickboxer, an MMA fighter, but she has a stalker. So I
Hmm.
play a doctor in that. So
What's
yeah,
your name?
Doctor Chris. I don't remember his last name, but Doctor Chris.
I'm gonna start referring to you as Dr. Chris now.
Doctor Chris.
Yes.
Call me
Okay.
Grey's Anatomy since Meredith left, or she's leaving. Since Meredith's leaving, you know.
Yeah, so remember I told you my zits on my chin. Can you diagnose me? Like,
I'm Grace Sloan's newest dermatologist.
yes, perfect, perfect. Because I'm just like, why am I 38 and like, getting these zits? And I was like, that's so lame. This was like before I started recording, guys. But I was like, I can't even see them. And I got really up close and personal to the camera so I could physically show him. But thankfully, this lighting is working in my favor. I
It's
need
good
it.
lighting. You would never know that they're there.
It's
I
just
don't
a
see
ring
anything.
light. That's it.
It's
And
really.
this lamp next to me, the bird.
Oh, okay.
I kind of have like
Something
a
from the
bird,
Antiques Roadshow.
right? I got it at Home Goods. I kind of like have a bird vibe in my room. I don't know how to like explain it, but
Well, you have trees back there, or no, not trees,
yeah,
fruit. Or wait, there's a wine glass, and
no, they're peel and stick flowers.
oh, that's not a wine
Aren't
glass.
you?
That's flour.
And then they're like attached. Oh my God, the lighting's really bad now. And then
Oh,
they're like on a branch. Like it was,
okay.
this wall was empty. And then that's a portrait of my
Oh, I
uncle.
like that.
Right, thank you.
Yeah.
So this little corner of my room was empty. Next month will be 2 years since I have lived here, and like my room, I love it, but it's massive.
Mm.
Like I have a king size bed, and I can still do cartwheels around my room. Like it is, yeah. So like for that, I'm like, thank you. I need all the space in the world, but I never knew how to decorate this section, and if you're very familiar with seasons like 1 through 4, at least, right? My emerald
Queen of the
color
South.
velvet chaise. Do you remember the one I would always sit on my porch with
Porch?
the
Yeah,
ivy
yeah, yeah,
wall?
yeah. Yeah.
I'm sitting on that right
The
now. So
little
I'm like,
hands.
yes, of course.
Yeah, I remember.
You can't like really see it, but
Ah,
you
okay.
know. Oh, there goes the lighting. But yeah, I was like, do I film at my living room tonight? Do I film here? I haven't sat on this thing probably since I moved in. I'm like, this is my reading nook. Do you think I've like read since I've lived here? I'm just kidding. But
Age or two.
yeah, I'm like, I will read out in the living room. I'm like, this whole I was like, maybe this is like my new space for season 6, you know? I'm like,
You
it's
never know. Switch it
right.
up.
Yeah, so I just randomly I got these from the pop-up shop I worked last year, and I was like, "Oh, fuck it, let me just put these up, like no big deal." And now I'm sitting in a little peel and stick flower wall.
Peel and stay firewall. I could have swore that was a wine glass.
Right? I'll send you a picture after so you can have a closer look. Better lighting. So okay, so you've been in like 40 movies now, and you're on stage like every weekend. Like this is why we don't get to talk often. You know, we just talk our shit in our LMG group text,
Yes,
and
LMG.
then that's pretty much it. But no, I'm like so proud of you. Let's just say
Thank
that.
you.
Let's get the emotional stuff out. But like
Oh
I'm
my
so proud
gosh.
of you because we joined, yeah, I mean, I think it was June that the groups had merged
Lord, yeah.
from 2 to 1. So I've known you for 2.5 years. And just to see the growth, I mean, you were already in the industry, you were doing acting classes, you were preparing to have your music come out, like you were already setting those, foundations, and it's not like you just started when LMG
Mm-hmm.
started, you were working on this stuff, but just to see the consistent growth from your talents, from your passion, everything to this point. I mean, like this is, I don't want to say this is just the beginning because you have put a ton of work in, but like this is literally the beginning,
Yeah.
and it's just incredible to see that all of the work that you've been doing these last few years is really paying off. Like you're getting paid gigs, you are in feature
Consistently.
films. Yes, yes. You're
Mhm.
in feature films, like you're recording more music, you're on stage. You are probably not warmed up, and I was gonna ask you, can you sing that little part from Memphis?
I can always sing. It's fine.
All right. Oh my God, I should have brought my tiny mic and held it up, but it's all right. Hold on. Actually, I think it. Hold on. Let me go
You
check.
said- Yo, this is
Hold
why I
on.
love.
I
This is why I
have
love
it.
Katie.
I have it. Hold on. I'm back. I'm back. And then so I have tiny mic, but I mean, clearly these don't match my skin tone but I
Ah!
have the tiny hands.
Oh
So
my god. Ah,
I think I already told you guys this, but I had like every skin tone available for these hands.
yes.
And I would go to like
True.
weddings and stuff like that. My friends are always like, hey, we want your hands. So I ran out of like my skin tone, and then I have these. So I got to find somebody to gift these to.
Anti-social
Um,
media.
I mean, you can have them. I'll mail them to you if you want. If you so desire to have time. Yeah, hold on.
I mean,
Hold on.
it's fine.
I'll hold them up.
We can do that. I'm that brown.
Yeah, look.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, perfect. They're yours. But I just have to like re-up on my like super white transparent people shade. So yeah. That's what happens when you're Irish and English. It's like, yeah, yeah, it's an unfortunate thing, but so be it. But yeah, no, I have tiny mic,
Uh-huh.
so I'll just whenever you're ready, I'll just hold it up.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Make sure I have the right key.
I feel like you have to like turn your head a little bit so it looks like you're like
Oh, like this?
actually. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Ah, okay. Say a prayer that a change is coming. Say a prayer that hope is round the bend. And if you pray that a change is a coming, oh Jesus, may what you pray come true. Amen.
Oh, hey, Bo. Round of applause.
That's
Oh my God, I have all the props to give you claps and to for you to sing. That was fantastic. Thank you
Oh,
so much because I didn't
thank you,
like
thank
prepare
you,
you like how you're
thank
gonna
you.
sing tonight.
One
And you
must always be prepared.
absolutely, but you have to also have your voice be ready for this weekend to be a narrator. So I can't like have you, scratch it up right now for this
Okay.
little interview. But
I've learned how to take care of it better than I have. These last years, I've learned how to really, really take care of it. So there's certain things that I can do now. My voice can be ready to go within 5 to 10 minutes. So.
that's amazing. So, like, what are some of the, because if there's anybody that is aspiring to be a singer, like,
Mhm.
what are some of the techniques that you use to help, like, preserve your voice,
Oh,
maintain it?
um, one definitely is drinking water. I mean, I don't like to drink just plain water. Like I'll do like lemon water or like with cucumbers or strawberries or stuff like that. And then eating fruit helps to keep your vocal cords hydrated more so than it does drinking water. Uh, and just doing simple vocal exercises, and it's as simple as doing like counting, like 1 1 2 1 1 2 3 2 1 1 2 3 4 3 2 1 1 2 3 4 5 4 3 2 1. Take it up and just go up half steps or stupid phrases like I don't want to eat my vegetables. 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 And so that helps to keep your voice. You're warming up different parts of your voice, so you can sing in your falsetto voice or your speaking voice. So just little things like that takes literally 3 to 5 minutes a day of doing little exercises like that to keep your voice ready on go, so that you can do. Oh come all ye faithful. I can go right into it. So.
I love it. Also that 1 2 3 4 thing, I can't even do that like at numbers. I'm like 1 2 3 4 5 6 that. I'm like, wait, what did
Whoa.
I do? Like,
1 2 3 5.
you were like 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 4 5, and I'm like, I can't even count because you're
But see,
giving me.
but see right there, you were like you were doing. Listen, I tend to actually do. I mean, I really like simple, um, simple everyday speaking phrases. One warm up I do is it's like based off of Diddy. It's like I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. Dun dun. I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. Dun dun. And so just speaking it on rhythm in the melody, and then I'm ready to go.
I love it. Diddy, Mr. Can't Stop, Won't Stop having kids with 20 something year olds. Like, what?
I mean,
I
I don't
put
have
a
any kids.
little
I don't know
harder.
if I,
You're
but
like,
like,
yeah.
but he's dating somebody. What that was weird because he's already when he's dating he was dating one of
Patricia,
them
please.
one of them girls, yeah. Uh, and so you dating her, then you have a baby by a massage lady who's 28, which to each his own. But you're also like 54.
Yeah, he's literally double her age. But like the whole thing, right? And this also just came to light like yesterday or the day before, just so you guys know for context of when we're recording this. So more drama will probably come from
So
this.
it's
But
gonna
like
unfold.
my whole thing is like essentially she's been pregnant since like early winter time, this woman, right? And then but when did he start dating young Miami, aka,
Ah, okay.
because I was like, maybe this baby was like already in
And yeah,
vitro
yeah, yeah,
by the time they started dating. And I was like trying, not that I care about those celebrity
yeah,
lives like per se, but I'm just like trying to think of like the timeline of like when they started to become
yeah,
public, because I was like, maybe, she was already okay, like you got a baby on the way, we're just having fun, we'll see where
yeah,
this goes. But I'm just like thinking about the fact that his grown children are very similar in age, like she could be an older sister to them.
yeah,
That's weird to me.
yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna like really Google like King Combs, like how old is he?
He has to be.
Because
I think he's well, because he has Justin, but I mean that's not his biological son. That's Albie Shore's son. But oh no,
right.
Quincy. That's what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm agreeing with you. I'm like, I don't know. 24 years old is King Combs. Yeah. And then,
So his little sister's mother is 4 years older than he is.
yes, Quincy Taylor Brown. So Albie Shore and Kim Porter are his parents. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. And he's 31.
Yeah. So now you got a baby sister.
Happy birthday, love Sean
Mm.
Combs. What?
Oh, that's right. What is it? Love what?
Love Sean Combs. And
Oh.
then I'm like, okay, are we gonna put like a comma in there? It's like signing off on a letter, like love Sean Combs.
I
You
see what
know,
you
I'm
did
just
there.
like, what are we
I
doing
see what
here?
you did there. I see what you did there.
People, celebrities and their baby names. I'm just like, I can't. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else. We're gonna talk about new music in a second, but I'm just like trying to think of anything else that I wanted to ask you before we head into that direction. All right. Well, no, quick, very random question
Of
for you,
course.
right? How, like off screen, how did Adam Sandler dress from when you saw him?
Um,
Casual, Casual Luxury, the name of your first album.
yes, 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 very much so. He was literally in shorts and a t-shirt.
Okay. Because I say this, I can't remember which, I think it was Easter,
Mm,
right? My niece Hayden, as you know, she was
mm,
12 at the time, she's now 13, but she and my older brother love to insult each other 24/7. He's approaching 40,
mm.
and they will take jabs at each other all the time and like tease each other to the point where it's like literally somebody's feelings get hurt. I'm like, we have a 12-year-old and a 39-year-old, and yet both of your feelings are gonna hurt.
Mhm.
That makes sense, right? But I forget what he said, and she's like, well, it's not my fault you dress like Adam Sandler. And it caught all of us like so off guard. I literally had tears pouring down my face because at that time I'm pretty sure he was wearing a t-shirt and basketball shorts. So I was like, oh my god, like she's so spot on, like she literally just called it, like he is Adam Sandler,
uh,
so we were dying. So all the time now she will call him Adam Sandler, and it's just kind of like been built into like our family jokes and stuff. So that's why I was just like, you see photos of him online, and he is dressed in casual luxury for sure. But
yes.
that's why I was just like, did he kind of like have that same vibe when he was
Oh
on
yeah,
set? So I'm so happy to know that he
very
did.
much,
Yes.
very much. It was every day, like because we filmed, because they had filmed, they filmed the first scenes. They broke it up because of COVID. So the first, like all the scenes with him and Queen Latifah and their daughter, like it was just none of the basketball scenes. They filmed, uh, they had filmed prior to COVID happening, and then once COVID happened, obviously players and stuff, you couldn't even be, in each other's faces because you had to wear masks and there was no vaccine or anything like that. So once we got that thing settled, then we were able to, come back and film stuff. So I filmed 3 days in August, so it was already dead. I think one day it was 97 and we were filming at 3 o'clock in the morning. 97 degrees, yeah.
No
Uh,
thanks.
yeah, but each day on set, it was the t-shirt and the shorts.
That is so wild. Now, another question for you. I'm like, oh, let's wrap this up and move on. But I'm like, wait, let's ask more questions. Okay. So you're currently on stage right now in the midst of like doing more productions. Like, how has the COVID protocol been for you right now? Because I was on Snapchat the other day, and the Netflix series Wednesday is huge right now,
I
right?
have to. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna start watching that tonight. I'm glad. Well, after I run over my lines for that for Nutcracker, but I'm going. I've heard so much about it. I'm like, all right, now I have to like watch this. So, is it really
Yes.
that good?
It's incredible. I will tell you, we started watching it as a family on Thanksgiving, or like the night before Thanksgiving. It had just
Okay.
come out. I think it was the night before Thanksgiving it launched, and
Okay.
I was so exhausted that we were all in the living room, and about 10 minutes into the first episode, I was knocked out in the
Okay.
on yeah. I was like, nope, and then I woke up like way later. We watched it on Thanksgiving night, I believe, and I watched I think the last four episodes. So
Okay.
I know what happens there. I just missed like the whole
Okay.
beginning part of the series. But I was on Snapchat the other day and I saw that Jenna Ortega, the actress who plays Wednesday, filmed a dance scene, like she's at a school dance,
Mhm.
and she had COVID at
Uh,
the time that she was filming. And I was like, that's so wild. Like, she's like, I felt like shit, but like the show must go on.
mm.
So that's why I was like really curious to see, like, are you guys still exercising strict protocols? Like, what is been in place that you've noticed, doing all of these shows?
For it depends on the theater and stuff like that. Of course, because we have the vaccines and stuff now, um, the recommendation is that if you are sick, even if it's not COVID, we want you to, wear a mask. Most places are still requiring you to have proof of um, vaccination, but that's left up to the individual, um, like studios in particular, the company to decide whether what they will accept or not accept. Um, but there's no like if you don't have a vaccine, you can't, film. They really let go of that. But they do want to know that if you've had your vaccinations, if you had your booster shots, if you have a record of that, then yes. If you don't, some places will be like, okay, well, no, you can't film. Um, and then some places are okay, but now you have to be masked up when you're not filming your scene. So you can work, but when it's time for you to do the scene, you don't no mask, and then when we're done that scene, mask back up. So
Okay.
it's different for each one, but I think because we have the vaccines and all that kind of stuff now, um, they're a little bit more relaxed. I personally think that we have so much. We have the flu, we have the common cold, we have that RSV respiratory virus, you have COVID. Just wash your hands and just be aware of what you know the people around you and what you're doing with germs. Because
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was always curious to see, but then when I saw that, I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of feel like I forgot about the fact that everybody needs to still take protocols because, in the industry that I'm in, my real life job, because I haven't broken out yet, guys, to like be an internet sensation. So I do have to have like a full-time job still.
I
Um,
think you.
right. Okay, facts. Like yes, we still
I'm not.
have to.
I'm not. No offense to any of the starving artists or anything like that. No offense, but when you hit your late 20s, 30s, even mid 30s, it's you got bills. I'm blessed because I'm really really blessed, beyond grateful that I have my bosses allow me to take off to film, and I can be gone a day, 2 days, 3 days, and I can still come back and know that I have a job. Not only am I getting paid for it while I'm away from my normal job because I have the time, but then I'm also getting paid from the gig. So, and they support, they want to come, they've come to shows, they've watched the movies and things like that. So that's a big a blessing. But yeah, no, yeah.
Right.
I'm not a household name yet. On the way, but
Like
until then, because
keyword yet.
yeah, like Viola Davis said, there's an interview where she says 1 to 3, the top earners are in the 1 to 3%. Most actors don't even make enough to get qualified for health insurance, and so you got to have. It doesn't mean that you're not talented. It doesn't mean that you're not going to make it. You may be like Leslie Jones and not make it until you're 47. You could be, John Hamm at 36. Or Steve Carell at 39. You never know when it's going to happen, but you have to do what you have to do on the way. So
Absolutely. Otherwise, I'm like, my life is not built to be in a cardboard box under a bridge, So it's like I could do this and I could make this my passion, but I'm not going to have Wi-Fi to do these interviews under a bridge. So, I was like, I have to make choices, and clearly, like the choice is to have a full-time job, and thankfully I like my job.
mhm.
It's very energizing and fun, and it's creative, and all this stuff. So I'm like, I really enjoy the space that I'm in my life right now. Thank God for never wanting to be in retail ever again. Like I actually have quality of life now. Woo-hoo.
Isn't it amazing? Take it from somebody who spent 6 years with Abercrombie and Hollister, started off as a model, and then became a manager and stuff. Yeah, those weekends and nights.
Right? How did I not know you ever worked in retail? Why am I just discovering this now?
Oh, well, see, look at that.
Oh, would you look at that?
I
Yeah.
know how you. I know how you feel. I know how you
Yes.
feel.
Yeah. I'm like,
Especially around this time of year.
yeah. This
Never.
shit's for the birds. I'm like, no, thank you. Even like Black Friday, and then everybody's applauding, like, oh, all these big box stores are closed on Thanksgiving. I'm like, should be. Oh, and then we're not opening till such and such time. I'm like, should be.
Be.
I'm just like, we're like, Thursday, we're so thankful and blessed for all of this. And then like fast forward 12 hours and you're ripping somebody's hair because you want this TV. I'm like, none of this makes sense. Like,
At all.
yes.
Just ask Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh my God. I just try I was just gonna try to like say a quote in his accent, and I'm like, let me or like,
I'll
yes.
be back. No, I don't know.
I
That
know.
sound like a Jamaican robot. I don't know.
Jamaican robot.
Jamaican robot.
I'll be back. See, I
I'll
can't
be back.
yeah, I can't even do it. So I'm gonna
Ah,
call him ahead, because clearly let me not embarrass myself
it's
right
all right. It's all right.
now. No, this is so wild. Okay, so let's now transition to talk about new
Oh
music.
yeah. Ah, well, um, we're taking things up to another level. Like I said, I've been, doing those exercises and really working on. I'm always a student of. I believe in always being a student of your craft. So I'm always going to take an acting class. I'm always going to take a voice lesson, um, because we're human beings. We are living this human experience, and so every day there's something new that you can learn about yourself or something that you can get better at. And so, as far as new music is concerned, I've just been diving in and listening to, old Stevie Wonder records, listening to Maroon Five's debut album, going back and listening to.
Songs about Jane. I love that album.
I literally in the car today on the way home, I said, what's an album I haven't heard in a long time? And I said, you know what? Songs about Jane. And I put that on and I said, Maroon 5 was it when they like
Mhm.
Adam's vocals were like, okay, all right,
Yes.
white boy got vocals. It was like,
Yes.
all right, okay.
Can I tell you a deep, dark secret? It's not even, but it's like, why would anybody even ask me? My all-time favorite song, like literally all time, is Sunday Morning. That's it. Like, I'm like, as much as I love different artists, different
Mhm.
genres, like that song will always be the song for me. Like that is always going to be my
Ah,
favorite. So next time when you listen to it in your car, you can be like,
okay,
ah, yeah.
okay.
Yes. Yes, I love that album. I was in high school when that album came out and I already had my license. So of course I was playing that CD in my car. Yes, I'm like Sunday morning rain, like whatever. But
Ah,
um yeah, no, that oh yeah, that album. Yeah. They are great, considering all of the scandal that Adam Levine's been under this year. I still claim him. I was like, you know what? People do dumb shit all the time,
yeah.
but I still love your
His
music.
voice is still nice. He still has a nice voice. He's still,
Right.
and I like choices of harmonies and stuff. It was just, I was like, okay, it's a good debut album.
And they're great live. I saw them in college. So
Mm.
just if they ever make their way to your area on tour, go see them because I feel like that would
Well,
be
maybe I'll make a song with him. You never know what's in the future. See,
even
I
better.
see these things. Just to add into the music stuff. Um, Speaking positive affirmations, you have to be, you have to work towards stuff too. But it's really in your mindset of things is a game changer. I mean, every day I tell myself I am a good singer. I'm a confident singer. I just speak these things over myself just naturally becomes happy because so a man thinketh, so they are. And so if you truly let those words sink in, then you start to carry yourself and position yourself in a certain way and you bring the energy of those things to you. And I mean, I'm living proof just in the past 2 years of things that have just happened to me consistently. Um, but anyway, back to the music. I'm not recording I'm not going back into the studio until January because I want to get these shows done. And I'm gonna spend a couple weeks just recording. This next project is uh, it's kind of a return to love. I think that's something that we are missing. We're missing it politically. We're missing it just in life in general. So I think this project, it's more of an R&B house ish vibe, and so I've got a couple
Interesting.
really nice songwriters, and we're taking the vocals next level. So this is another step to people. I want people to study my vocals and be like, hey, I want to learn how to do what he just did. So
That's incredible. So what was the decision of like evolving your sound to be that R&B house type vibe? Is this something that you're like, I'm going to take vocals next level, so I'm going to do sounds differently or
hmm
next level? Like, what was kind of the thought process behind that?
actually, it almost felt like because Drake dropped his like house album, and then of course Beyonce dropped Renaissance, but I had started working on stuff uh, prior to that because I had always coming from a gospel background, and then seeing how when people would be out, if you put on your favorite like house song or Stevie B Spring Love or something like that, or um, CC Pennington, those songs, it got everybody. It didn't care who you were. It just there's a certain frequency that just grabs your body and you just move and you forget all your problems and stuff like that. And I thought, wow, we've just been through some of the most traumatic experiences of our lives in this pandemic to the point where we were, no matter who you were, there was a point in time where everybody had to basically stay inside the house. Like you didn't know that if you went outside, if you caught this thing, if you were going to die. People had underlying pre-existing conditions. Some people, my immune system is healthy. I can beat this, and they get it, and they left us. So we've been through a lot collectively, and I feel like and we were fighting politically and not really listening to each other. We just wanted to be right all the time, and we really started to treat each other poorly. And I feel like a return to love symbolizes where we really need to be as a human race, no matter who you are. And what better way to do that than the art of music? Music is a universal language. You know, how many suavemente, everybody starts dancing. So it's like if you don't know Spanish, you don't care. You just start moving stuff. So music is a universal language, and when you're able to do music, and that's a gift or a talent, um, you use it for good and use it to move people. So I thought, people like to dance, and even if they can't dance, if the beat's good enough, somebody will move from side to side. And so I said, with that, I have a 4 octave vocal range. Thank you, God. I worked on it, and so let's marry the two together. Let's just take everything up a notch. I never want to be I want to be an artist that's known for giving great live performances and creating moments that people want to hear live and or want to study. And so what that means, you have to stretch yourself and take those voice lessons and then trust yourself more. I think that having confidence in your talents and gifts, um, and moving even when you're afraid to do it opens up a world of doors. So I'm just
Absolutely.
taking things to the next level.
I love it. And I was actually just on TikTok today, on my lunch break, and I'm like, do, do, do. And I saw this video. It was really interesting. This girl was like, you know, people used to cringe at my nail art designs in 2016, right? And it showed her like in the beginning phases of like how she'd paint nails and design them. And then fast forward to 2022, and she's literally still speaking of the Adams family. There's like literally like portraits of like Morticia Adams on these nails. There was like Chadwick Boseman, and I'm like, her art is insane. And somebody wrote in the comments, this is what they mean when they talk about desire and consistency.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's that right there. And I was like, she kept up with it. She was passionate about it. She wanted to succeed in this. She did what it took to get to that level. And I think so much of like what you have been doing is like that one little capture, not caption, but comment I saw today. This is the definition of desire and
Hmm.
consistency. I'm like, you have been consistent, like from like you said, the 3 to 5 minutes each day that you're like, I can warm up my vocals and I can do this, or each day that you're, going to your acting classes and carving out time to read your lines for this upcoming gig that you have this weekend, to whatever it takes of like creating that time, that space, that energy to be passionate. Like you could be so waylaid with your full-time job or family stuff or friends, relationship, whatever, that you always put your passions to the back burner. And I'm like, the fact that you do take the time, you're like, before anything else, I'm going to wake up in the morning. This is how I'm going to like set my day up. And this is what I'm going to do to succeed. And I think it's incredible, and I think that you've done an amazing job at that. And it's hard for a lot of people, and I bet at certain times you
Hmm.
struggle too. You're like, I want to stay in bed.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
But yeah, it is the desire and consistency, because I know even when I did even doing Memphis, there were even now people will come up to me and they'll say, "Hey, I'm glad to see that you're still, I'm glad to see that you're still doing this because, I got another job or I changed careers or I don't do this and that anymore. So I just stopped doing it altogether." And I can honestly say, Katie, that I cannot see, even if I will be famous, but that's aside from that. If I never became a household name, it wouldn't take away from the acting talent or the singing talent or the gifts of my crafts. And so I sit in that seat of I'm working towards it to happen. I'm being consistent and I'm doing what I need to do. And if God in the universe says, I see you and this is what's meant to be, and it's boom, then great. But if it's I see you, I have something bigger for you that's not what you want, but it's this, but this talent that you have is still going to be there, I'm 100% okay with that.
Well, and I think it speaks to the fact that you're in this industry, both with music and with acting, for the right reasons. You're not trying to become a household name because you just want the fame and you want all the money and all of the notoriety that comes with fame. You're doing it because you're passionate about it. So it's like that's the bonus end of it if you do gain fame and you become a household name, but that's not like the end goal for you or just the purpose of like this is the only reason why I'm getting into this industry is because I want to be famous. I want to be on these blogs. I want paparazzi. You're like, no, I'm doing this because I'm truly passionate about it. I want to exercise my passions and this is how I'm going to execute that. And I think a lot of actors, like you said, Viola Davis is like, okay, it's 1 to 3%. What about the 97 to 99% of other
Absolutely.
people? They're passionate. Are there a handful of them that probably only want the fame? Yeah, of course. But a majority of those people that aren't well known yet or are evolving, emerging artists, they're in it for the right reasons. And I know that you are. Like you're really genuine about what you do. So it's
I
really
try to be.
nice. Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I definitely try to be. I try to be because there's so many. Like I said, there are people who are. I was just watching something where it was like, it's okay to take the stairs. Take the stairs so that when you get to the top, you have enough time to breathe. And I was like, wow, okay. Because if you take the elevator and you're not ready, it's gonna be hard to breathe. And I just said, all right, taking the stairs builds my stamina, so that way when I'm up here, my legs are good, my breath
Yes.
support is good. All right, I'm not going to be swayed by everything. I'm not going to say yes to everything. I'm not going to be, people will proposition you for things in the industry. I'm not going to fall easily to things. Yeah. But, people will be here to, get a number one and then you never hear from them again, or they're just used as a cash cow for these industry people and then they're thrown away like trash. and then what do they have to show for it? They're on
Right.
drugs, or they're, God forbid, they die earlier than they're supposed to, all types of stuff.
Right. And we don't want that for anybody, it's industry snakes that want that, because they don't care. They just want to cash in on who they can, kind of like pilfer the talent from and make the money off of them. And they're like, all right, next.
Hmm.
It's like how many in our cycle of lifetime, like how many boy bands have been there, right? It's like, are you there to like collectively get these people together and sing and they're passionate about it? Or like you're just like, okay, well, teenage kids are always going to be like, oh, boys, and do that and sing Backstreet Boys, BTS, One Direction, O Town. When's the last time you heard of O Town?
I used to love Liquid Dreams. Oh my gosh. Posters of love surrounding me, lost in the world of fantasy. Every night she comes to me, gives me all the love I need. Yeah.
Right? So just also side note, I was huge NSYNC fan, most importantly
Oh,
Timberlake. So
what was that?
um
Baby, I don't
yeah.
understand
Uh-huh.
why we can't be lovers. Yeah. as,
I
as you
want
can
to
see,
like,
I'm warmed up now.
yeah, I'm like, actually, I had the microphone ready. I just, yeah, no, I actually kind of made me sad because I was like cleaning out some stuff in my mom's basement. I'm like, I'm gonna help her organize. So, like, literally just 2 days ago, I was in her basement and I'm like, I'm gonna make the executive decision and I'm gonna throw out all the magazines and all the posters of NSYNC that I have because they haven't been on my wall in like 20 plus years. And although it's nice to save mementos from your childhood, I think it's time to let them go. So I threw them all out and I feel fine about it, just so you know.
Are you okay?
Yeah. You know what? Because I was like, the posters were like folded in thirds
Oh
almost.
yeah, so it's never gonna be. Yeah, yeah.
No, and it was like stacks of like J14. There was even like a Cosmo Girl when they had that. I don't
Wow.
even know if that like their Cosmopolitan is still out, but I don't know if they do Cosmo Girl anymore. Justin was on the cover.
Yeah, do you,
All this-
we had, it was Right On magazine too, right? It was Right On seven.
Yeah, Teen Beat,
Yeah,
like
I remember Team Beat.
yeah. So I was
Wow.
like, you know what? I can let these go and I'll be fine. So, I just like tossed them all out. But yeah, I mean, when we moved into okay, so NSYNC came out like
I think they were 98, right?
yeah, it was
Actually, it was
like
first.
yeah, it was like kind of what was it? Eighth it was I think it was my seventh grade summer going into eighth grade.
Okay.
Okay. So, and they were on the Disney Channel. And like, why? Okay, this is a very weird story about me, but like, me, I'm weird. Instead of like being a normal child, right?
Mhm.
Um, and like being outside and playing with friends and doing all this stuff, I had an obsession that summer, seventh grade into eighth grade, that we had this like kind of like game room or whatever in our house, and every day I would wake up, I'd shower, eat breakfast, and then I'd go in the game room and I would literally spend all day long building Legos all motherfucking day. And like, why didn't I have a life? Like, this is like prime time that I could have been like hanging out with my friends, riding my bike, living a normal childhood life. And I'm like, and at what point I've got to ask my mom. I'm gonna call her when we hang up and be like, Mom, why the fuck didn't you force me outside? Like, why? And maybe that was the inception of being the antisocial socialite because I was like, fuck you.
Ah,
Legos are better than people, okay? But so yeah, I would like literally like build these extravagant like homes and
okay.
castles and like all this stuff, right? And I would put on Jerry Springer show
Of course,
naturally.
of course.
But I also put on the Disney Channel, and that's the summer that like NSYNC was like up and coming. So they'd always have these like specials about them, or they'd perform shows at Disney World, like all this stuff. And that's when I learned about NSYNC. And then they started really becoming popular through eighth grade into ninth grade. And then in ninth grade, so the house that I lived in at the time, that had posters and cutouts from magazines and all that stuff. Like that whole year evolved into my room was like an NSYNC haven. And then in ninth grade we moved, and like my mom like added like an entire, it was a ranch that we bought, and then like added on a whole second floor,
Okay.
right? So my room was completely brand new, fresh, all this stuff, and I was like, we're painting it baby blue because that's Justin Timberlake's favorite color. And it was, yes, baby motherfucking blue. Okay, so that was the room I lived in until I graduated college with baby blue walls. And I was like, I have no shame about it. And the posters still lived on that wall, but as high school went on, they evolved and they changed, and I got more artwork, because I was so sophisticated and
Okay.
grown.
Okay.
Mm, yeah. So just so you know, I am a nerd through and through, and
All
at my
right.
big age, I would still play with Legos all day long if somebody gifted me a set. So I just want you to know that.
Okay. Okay. We may
Yep.
look up and there be a, autographed Legos.
Oh my God. I want like a dual, like Beaux Emerson and collective in sync group member autograph Lego set. And then that will make my life. You're
That
like,
is hilarious.
they came back for a reunion tour and I was their opening act. And then we recorded some
Oh my.
songs together. And then Lego came to us with a collab. Here's an autographed box.
Here's
And
a
like,
autograph.
that would be my life. I'd
Universe
be
has
like,
a funny way of doing all types of stuff. You really you never know.
you
Life
never
is
know.
funny.
So that's why I was like, that's when I know that I've made it in life. I don't have to be a household name. As long as I have these people signing a Lego box for me, I know I've made
You're
it
good
in
to
life.
go. No, I said when I know, well, I think there's two instances where I feel like that I will know that I don't want to not made it or whatever, but when I know that I'm in the zeitgeist of humanity of all time, um, when I'm able to pay somebody to be a full time assistant with benefits who can go to the grocery store for me.
Yes.
Something as simple as that. When I can pay somebody who someone who doesn't want to be, how do I say this? Because there are people that, and I've seen them, people in our industry that just want to get next to somebody so that they can just get on and then leave them,
Yeah.
or they because they want to be a star. I want to be able to find person or persons, maybe one to three, who don't want to be, have no desire to be in front of the camera or anything, but are comfortable with being behind the scenes and can earn an honest living with benefits, that I can pay them 60 to, let's say 60 to $90,000 a year to be, to work for me with benefits, with time off, stuff like that, so that it is an actual, you're having fun because you're in the entertainment industry, but it's also you're getting benefits. You can maybe retire from this. When I'm able to
Absolutely.
do that, I'm okay.
You'll be okay, even, and like this is the moment in time where I'm gonna say fake it till you make it. That's what Instacart's there for. So
That's
you
what
could still have somebody get your groceries and you don't have to pay them a salary. Okay. So,
you're, you know, you're right.
they're still making a living.
Yeah.
Whether that's their full-time or their part-time gig, and you literally don't even have to pay them benefits. So like go hardcore on Instacart. So here in, and I don't know if you guys have Stop and Shop in the tri-state area. Do you? Okay. So it's the grocery store around here. It's like in the
Okay.
Northeast and stuff. And well, they changed the name. It used to be called Peapod, and I thought it was so cute, but now there's just like Stop and Shop delivery. I'm like, lame. But my family and I still call it Peapod. But like I have been so busy lately that I have not had the opportunity to go to a grocery store. Like I went, it was my birthday, next day in Miami for a few days, come back, doing all this stuff. And then every single night after work, I had something to do
Mm.
last week, to the point where I was so burnt out. Saturday, I slept until 10 o'clock in the morning, which is so unlike me. And I literally could not get out of bed. My body hurt. I was like forcing myself to get out of bed, to shower and get ready for the day, to then drive an hour and a half to my mom's house to spend the rest of the weekend there. I was just like, I'm crawling and dying, and I can't do this, right? So what did I do when I was at my mom's house on Sunday? I'm like, boop, 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 add groceries to cart, and they got delivered to me after work last night. And I'm like, thank the Lord. Like, you guys do this for me, deliver it to my door.
Mm,
I can just live life, you know? So I'm like, sometimes you got to lean on those services when you know you're like, I
sure.
can't do it. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. You know, I was doing that a lot when I was laid up from my surgery. When I came back, I'm like, I can't physically walk,
Yeah,
number one, but like have the ability to walk into, and this is where I think it's great for people like with disabilities. Like we have these way more accessible
yeah,
services now. And I was like, I can't physically walk all the way through a store to get
yeah,
groceries. So I'm like, beep, 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 deliver right here. Here's your tip. Enjoy. Have a great day. You know, so those things are great. So lean heavily on that until you make enough money and you feel comfortable enough hiring somebody. So
sure.
that.
I like that.
Yeah. Also, I just want to let you know, since you mentioned CC Peniston, I'm like, finally, it has happened to me in my head for the last, what, 15 minutes. I just want you to know.
Okay, okay.
It's my song. It will always be. Love that. It does come on the radio actually quite often. So I have Sirius XM radio in my
Mm,
car, and I have like 90s on 9. Like that's one of my preset
okay.
stations. So all the bops are on there naturally because that's the music I grew up with. But that song does frequent that station quite a bit. So I sing it as if it was like a new release every time it's on
See,
the radio. Yeah.
I listen. I don't. Do I have Sirius? I don't know. My car's. I don't know. I don't think so. But every now and then I'll go through like a '90s moment, and then I'll have uh, it'll play. I'm barely breathing. I can find the air. I,
Duncan Sheik.
yeah,
Yes.
so
I always
completely
hated that
torn.
name. I always hated that name. It gave me such a dumb feeling. I'm like, Duncan Sheik. Things give me dumb feelings, and like how people like kind of like will say like, oh, that's so cringe. Like that's the term that you use now. Like cringe or like the secondhand embarrassment is how I like equate a dumb feeling. And I've been saying a dumb feeling since high school. So we're talking
Yeah,
like late 90s, early 2000.
yeah.
Like, oh my God, I have such a dumb feeling that they did that, right? Duncan Sheik's name gives me a dumb
That-
feeling. So yeah. What other songs? Okay, so I want to like go through like what are
oh, we're
some of
gonna
your other like favorite 90s
favorite
tunes?
'90s. Oh,
Yeah. I'm
what's the one?
invested.
Uh, I thought I saw a man brought to life.
Yes.
Natalie Imbruglia, "Torn" is
Thorn.
another good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Uh, I wanna be with you. Some drive me crazy, and they wonder why. And 'cause the dolphin made me cry, and there's nothing I can do. I've been looking
I
for a
want to
girl
be
like
with you.
you. Hootie and the Blowfish, yeah.
I was like, I'll just add in. I'm like, it's a duet. It's a duet. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think my mom, uh, she played. She always we had a popular radio station. It was Q102, and it would be Q102 or B101.1, and that was where I got to hear an eclectic mix of artists. It wasn't just hip hop and rap, but it was our '90s pop. It was all that other stuff. So yeah. Oh my God. Now I'm thinking about. Of course, no doubt. I'm not gonna sing that, but yeah, of course that
Like,
song. Don't speak.
got me in a spider web. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Yeah. Okay.
Oh wow! I
No,
mean,
but like we grew up in the same era, which makes me like so appreciative that like people can understand the importance of 90s music and like
we had
how,
cassettes
yes, yes.
and
Okay.
Walkmans,
Oh my God, had a Walkman, Discman,
CD
a
player.
boombox, everything. Yeah, no, it was an incredible moment in history. And I think like, I get really kind of like not to say I don't adapt to change well, but like when iPods were coming out, like I didn't get one until college. Or no. That I actually after I graduated college. So we're
Mm,
talking like late 2007 is like when I finally sprung for
mm,
the first iPod. And because I was like, nope, I have my CDs. Nope,
yeah,
I have the radio. Like I was very antiquated that. And then morphing in from disposable cameras or just like a traditional camera to going to a digital camera. I was like very slow in
yeah.
that because I'm just like, although like I appreciate the technology, like in my mind, I'm like, that shit's not going to be here forever. Like this is a classic. This is a mainstay. This will always be here. And
I can't put these in a scrapbook.
yes. Well, and I still do that. And like my friends think I'm like hysterical and like so weird, but like a lot of my pictures that are on my camera roll, I actually get printed out because I'm just like, you
Okay.
know what, whether it's Facebook, okay, so in college, I don't know if you ever remember this website, but Community Web Shots. Did you ever hear about that?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
might have.
So it was a website that you could upload photos and like create albums and stuff like this. And this was a time before Facebook had the option to add photos. So, you would just like in your
Did you make a
my
slideshow on it?
maybe I only had just had like regular albums with pictures.
Okay.
So I'm like,
Maybe so.
I'm not 100% positive, but that
Okay.
doesn't mean it's not in existence. But like that's where you would take the hyperlink of community web shots and then put it into your MySpace bio. And that's where your friends would go. And so like immediately, because now I'm in the digital,
Yeah.
camera stage in college, and I would literally like immediately like the night after the party or like even hours after the party we get home and where everybody's like and it's 3 a.m and we're or the next morning when we're all dead, right? I would go to my computer, I'd plug in my digital camera and I'd upload all these photos. So it was like immediate, like, oh yeah, like that party was so much fun. Oh, look at that picture.
Yeah.
So that was a moment. And a lot of those photos I did print out still. And I would like, take my little thing to, my digital camera to
Mm.
yes or whatever, and I'd
Yeah.
get printed and digital. I mean, community web shots is no longer a website. So it's like if you didn't print those out, you no longer have
Yeah.
those.
Mhm.
So that's very much the same thing. Like if I were to ever have children or even like pass photos down to Hayden, anything like that, I'm like, she's not going to know about our lives because everything exists on social media.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you don't have access to seeing those photos are technically like lost, even though they're
Yeah.
online, they're
Yeah.
lost. It's like, so that's why I'm very old school in the fact that I will still print my photos. And I have photo albums like out the wazoo, but I'm like, they're there because it's something that's like super important to pass it down. So I'm very old school in that for
No,
sure.
I think I mean that's giving me something to think about too because I have cameras that I mean I'm sure there's nothing on them now that it can be developed, but I had stuff with from the underwater camera was like, oh my God, we're underwater and we can take and this is clear like
Life changing. Yeah.
um but
Take
even
them. Yeah. Take them to go get developed
you
because you never know
never
what.
know. I will. And then also I've been at parties now, which is interesting. Everything's cyclical. It's interesting now to be at parties with people who are in their, 20, early 20s, mid 20s, and somebody will have a Polaroid, and I'm like, okay. Now, of course, they cost like $200. Fuck man. But I'm like, you're good. You're creating it. Yes, the selfie is good and all kind of stuff, but you're creating an instant moment. It's yeah, maybe we look all dumb or whatever or funny or whatever, but that's a classic instant moment in your hand that you can have tangible, moment. So yeah, yeah. We grew up in a good era. I think everybody's thinks their era is the best, but I think millennials. I think there's something special about being a millennial. I
Yes. I think we can appreciate and enjoy still like traditional things, before the dawn of the technology era. And I
mm.
think that, we remember having landlines and cordless phones and call waiting and AOL dial up and all of that stuff like in the
Hang
midst
up the phone. It's 9 o'clock. I got to get on the internet.
of gotta can't get on Beyonce's internet, even though we didn't
I
even
gotta
know
call you
about
back.
it. I'm gonna call you at 9:01 when my minutes are
Are
free. Okay.
free.
Yes.
And then some you thought somebody had money if they minutes. When you minutes free? Mine is free after 7.
Hmm. You're like, oh shit, you upgraded that plan. Okay. Yes. I remember going, okay, so I used to like borrow my mom's cell phone when I would go out in high school, right? So I'm like, just give me the phone and I'll call the house if I need you, like whatever. Those are still very much the early days. And then like after high school graduation, I went and got a cell phone, like right before I left for college. My mom's like, you don't need that. Why do you need that? And I'm like, Mom, because I'm gonna miss my friends back home and I might not like be able to answer my dorm phone at all times. And I can do, and then that phone number is still my phone number today. And I've had that
Wow.
phone number for 19 years now. So I was like,
Out of here.
since 2003. So I'm like, no, like that, I was like, that's like the power of like, no, Mom, I am standing firm. I need this cell phone. I got to stay in touch with the fam. And I'm like, now can you imagine life without a cell phone?
It's weird. It's crazy because, like you said, we know what it was like with without a cell phone. We know that, like you said, my great grandmother, I used to go over to her house every day after school, and she had is it called a rotary? Where you had to
Rotary. Yep.
thing? She had that, and you had to click over the whole. Somebody's on the other line had to click over, and you had to do to go from that to I got the apps and da 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 da, and it's like this is only what has it been 20 years maybe I don't 15 20 years in technology, and we went from that to this.
Yes. But also keep in mind, Bo, that your phone is not your phone. It's your camera, it's your
Yeah,
calculator,
that's
it's
true. The computer.
texting capabilities. Yeah, it's a whole like pocket-sized computer. And it's just like the facts that, and I'm like, I mean, I call my mom and my grandmother every day. And then I'm like, okay, who else do I call? My phone's dry as hell. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I'm not using my phone to be on the phone,
It's
you
on there
know?
because I need to check out what I need to book a flight, or I need to check on this thing, or I need to send an email, I need to da 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 da.
Yep.
Mm, mm, mm.
Crazy. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I'm very much on that fine line of like, I appreciate things that we did in our childhood and I understand why my parents or my grandparents did things that they did and how their mindset still is like that versus like evolving into the state that we're in right now. And I'm like,
Mhm.
so I like appreciate old school stuff. Like I just asked you a couple weeks ago, what's your address? I can send you your Christmas
I got
card.
it. I got it. I got it.
But I'm like,
It's those those things, those little details and things like that. Those make a difference uh, to people to get physical cards or things like that. It is you're absolutely right.
yeah, it's like that moment of just being like, hey, I'm gonna be thoughtful. I'm like, could I buy a gift for every single person that I sent a Christmas card? No, but like here's just a way to like wish you a happy holiday season. I'm thinking of you, love you always. TTYL, see you in the new year. It's like, I'm like, that's my moment to be like, hey, like, I don't
I'm
care
thinking
that
of
you
you.
live across the
Mhm.
country or like a 5-hour drive away or you're right down the street. Like, this is my time. And, people, it's just wild to me, like friends for sure. And like huge life announcements. I'm getting married. I'm having a baby.
Mhm.
This. They text me and I'm just like,
Yeah, it's different. It's different.
like if I had the big life news like that, my ass is picking up the phone. Like if you're important enough to share that information with, and I can't meet with you face to face, bare minimum is a
Phone
phone
call.
call. Otherwise, it's FaceTime. I'm like, there's no way that I'm gonna text you and be like, oh yeah, hi, I'm having a
Yeah.
baby. Or I'm getting married. Please come to my wedding. I'm like, well, where the fuck's the invitation?
Yep.
Like, send it in the mail. I'm not, no,
Yep.
yeah. So no, I'm very old school in that way. And that's something I'm not willing to change. That's something that I'm like, I'm not going to evolve with the times, be like, oh yeah, texting is great. Even now, like I have a hard time with like for some friends, like, it was like one of my close friends' birthdays the other day. And I know she was super busy and I was super busy and I texted her. Like, did I do a whole Instagram blow up of like
Mhm.
photos of us and I
Yeah.
did my Facebook post and yeah, but I'm like, I didn't even talk to her on
Yeah.
her birthday. You know, it's like stuff like that that I'm like, no, we have to like make it more a point to like get more connected with people
Hmm.
stuff. So yeah.
Wow. Wow. Whew.
Right.
Growing up in the 90s and 2000s. Yeah. Special era.
Okay, so I have a question for you, not to get emotional side, right? I'm like
Emotional. What are
emotional,
I'm
but
emotional.
okay. Carl Thomas, is that you?
Mhm.
All right. Um, all right. So, as you mentioned earlier, I know from, knowing you personally as a friend, but you had a major loss in your life earlier, just a couple months ago with
Mhm.
the passing of your grandfather, which I knew that you were super, super close to him.
Mhm.
And how is it just like mentioning about traditions and like
Yeah.
how I see like the mindset of like my parents or my grandparents and, just wisdom that they've passed on. Like, what is like the biggest piece of advice that your grandfather gave you that you're like, I'm gonna hold on to this forever? Like, this is like pulling at the heartstrings.
Thank you for asking that question. He's only been gone since June. Uh, Even in this, the first Thanksgiving without him, and now going to be the first Christmas without him. And for the last few years, it was just me, him, and my grandmother, and Snowball the dog. Um,
You're like, can't forget
yeah,
Snowball.
can't
Yeah.
forget Snowball. Um, I think the biggest he loved he loved his family. If no matter what, and so he smoked weed, and
Oh my God,
so
I love that for him. I really, uh,
so um well, I'll say what he told me when I was younger, and I'm gonna curse on here. So he said he
oh my
said
God, please.
he said
It's
what you eat don't make me shit, and I said, oh, okay. He says, just remember that what you eat don't make me. So that means people do. Everybody leaves their lives and da 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 da, and that just stuck with me. But he was a character. So he would get up every morning about 5, 5:30, go out on the back thing, light up his weed. He would puff puff. He'd turn on Steve Harvey Morning Show and, and have his little drink, and he'd just be ha ha ha. Nephew Tommy Letter today. His prank call. That nephew Tommy show is funny. Ha ha. Steve Harvey's the man, boy. I tell you. And just to see him, to hear him have that excitement, uh, was just I would peek and just laugh at him from in the kitchen, looking at him smoking or whatever, he'll do he used to do like his morning prayers and just his personal talk with God, and he was say thank you God for blessing me and waking me up this morning. So there would be times I'd be angry with him, but when I would see him do that, I'd be like, you're like my dad's. You raised me when my dad wasn't there, so just like it's a double relationship. So just like love you, big guy. Um, but he used to drink my milk.
like, pause off. That's
Like
mine.
one, I had laughed about it now. But have you ever like one day I didn't eat anything all day. I specifically had a taste for these chocolate chip cookies. I went and I purchased 20. It was a pack of 24 chocolate chip, soft chocolate chip cookies, and I
First
said,
of all, so good.
uh,
Okay, I'm just imagining eating all of those.
yes.
Yeah.
So I get up and I say, you know what? I'm not gonna eat anything today because I want my chocolate chip cookies. So I put them in the cabinet. I go to work, having a good day, getting these cases filed, doing everything I'm supposed to do. I'm on the way home, man. What's waiting for me? My chocolate chip cookies. So I'm going in. I get in the house. About to get these chocolate chip cookies. Got my milk, got my lactated milk going. I'm going. I open the cabinet. pull down the chocolate chip thing.
How many were left?
Tres.
He ate 21 cookies in a day.
Yeah.
I can see why you were pissed. I can absolutely see. You're like, even if I could get a solid 5 to 6 to the point where I felt a little full enough, I could go back later.
I'm
Three,
crying.
when you haven't eaten all day, is not enough.
Okay. You got you. When I tell you, I started slamming
Furious.
cabinets. I was like, motherfucker, all I wanted was to eat some I eat all day, and all I wanted was to eat some goddamn chocolate chip cookies, motherfucker, slamming cabinet. My grandmother comes, she's like, what's the matter? Nothing. Bam.
You didn't even want to tell her. You're like,
I didn't want
absolutely nothing
to-
is wrong.
I was like,
Hey,
nothing, I'm fine. I just, So after I calmed down, I said, look, so my grandma, she goes up there, she said, did you eat John's cookies? Yeah, I had the munchies, and so I had I had to I ate my son's his chocolate chip cookies. Tell him I saw I buy him some more. But
did he
he did
buy
end
you
up buying
some?
he did buy me some more. But when I tell you, I had to,
Oh,
I'm in tears laughing about it now. But at that moment, because I literally, I made it a point not to eat anything all day. I was like, all I want to eat was chocolate chip. That's it.
you didn't even get to take a little baggie to work to tide you over. You're
Nothing.
like, I'm waiting
I
for
had
the
nothing.
calm down of the day where I can just eat this giant thing of cookies. And you didn't even
And
have that. That opportunity was robbed from you.
when when I when I picked it up and the foil was already off the top, and it was just, and I said, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. I said, let me shut the cabinet and let me just step
In
out of the kitchen
disbelief.
and then
Yeah.
come back and let's do this again. Let's maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm so delirious right now. So I come back, I open it. This motherfucker. Oh fuck.
Love it. I love it. And you're
So
like,
I
my
miss him. I miss him dearly. I miss it, it's I went where did I go? I went to Atlanta earlier this in September or October, one of the time. And did I go there? I don't know where I went. But when I came
like,
back,
who am I? I
yeah,
don't
who am I? But when I came back and I opened, it was because now he'd been gone since June. So when I no, it was Atlanta. When I came back, when I opened the door, because when as soon as I opened the door, he would the chairs there where he used to sit at, and I had finally, of course, that they're not there, but it was finally, oh, Pop Pop's not here. Okay, it was just like there wasn't a sense of, oh man, I wish he wasn't gone. It was literally
like
the moment of peace.
acceptance.
It was like it was peace. It was just like life. He's not suffering. He's not here. He's watching over me. But oh, okay, cool. And I was just like, oh, okay, all right, we good now. You know.
Do you find like things throughout, the day or whatever that you're like, that's Pop Pop right there, like a cardinal, a blue jay, like an inside joke of some sort that has
Inside
now
joke.
like do you now find like you're somewhere totally random and there's a whole box of cookies somewhere and you're like, that's Pop Pop, it's like things like that. I
It is.
feel like you always will see somebody coming back and like checking in on you in
Yep.
like very funny ways. Yeah.
I wholeheartedly believe that. Or you think about something again, like the cookie store. You just think about something random, and you don't. It's not a sadness anymore. So you literally you start cracking up because there's nothing.
How are you gonna get mad about it now?
You
There's
can't. Well,
nothing
there's
you can
nothing you can do. There's absolutely nothing you can do. But you cherish the moments and times that you spend with those people. And you're right. Look, there's little moments where you're just like, oh, okay, I got you. I see what you did there. You're
do.
like, all right. So yeah,
Love
no.
stuff like that. I know, because I'm like, it's always a nice way to be like reminded of somebody. I mean, and thankfully he did buy you replacement cookies,
Yeah.
so you're not holding that resentment towards, you know. Had he not bought you them, you might be like, I'm squaring up, Pop Pop, like
When I see you at the pearly
on
gate,
site.
it's on site.
Imagine you're like, Dear God, please let me in. I'm like just very well behaved, and you saw
Mhm.
I lived a great life, and I was a good person. But where's Pop Pop? We have to
Yep.
settle a score before
Yeah,
I
just
enter.
bring him outside. Outside. We gonna fight on these streets paved to gold. Outside, where you at?
On these cloud streets over here. Tell him to meet me on cloud number 3. It's on site, and you have to do it kind of like outside of the pearly gates, because once you enter, you're like, I'm on
I
good
can't.
behavior
Yeah.
again, like
Yep.
washed it, cookies and all
Right
that
in
stuff.
between. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. In that like little purgatory state, like
Yes,
cloud
absolutely.
number 3.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I know your grandparents have been like super, super supportive of your
Oh
career.
yeah.
So, like, have they ever given you any advice on like how to handle yourself and like, moments of adversity or stressful moments or like cheerleading moments, like anything that they have said to you that's kind of like stuck with you to help you through your career?
Uh Actually something just recently, my grandmother, on 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 Casual Luxury, my first EP out everywhere. No, I was able
It
to get
is. It literally is out everywhere. So,
everywhere.
wait, roll that back quickly.
Oh,
Tell us, where is it?
it's on Tidal, Apple Music, Amazon, YouTube, uh Solitaire. No, that's a card game. That is not a music thing.
Can
Spotify.
be. Okay, perfect.
Solitaire,
And
Spotify. I don't know.
as Bo said, it's available everywhere, including solitaire. Okay. All
Solitaire.
right. So, all right. So roll it forward again. Just wanted
Okay,
to like throw it out there
of
so
course.
people know where to
Um,
find.
so there's a track on there. It's an interlude called "Family Affair," and so it has my aunt Dot, my grandfather's who passed, his older sister, and she's talking about when I was young. Because I have no shame, but my government name is John. But everybody, so my personal friends and stuff can call me that. But everybody else, industry wise, it's but anyway.
I
So
know it. Oh my God, I even just addressed your Christmas card by your government
which
name.
was fine.
Did you realize? Did you see that?
I saw that, and it didn't. I don't because you know me in real life. No,
I was like,
um,
I'm an insider.
that's right. That's everybody don't have access.
No,
Um,
I'm not telling them either. No spoiler alerts. Okay.
when my Wikipedia's up, they don't know. Like Whoopi Goldberg's Karen Elaine White.
As you see me like that cat gif that's like, I'll be editing it like his real name is. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh God! But there's the Family Fair track, and my aunt says when he was a little boy and he wanted to sing, John would come in, and him and his grandmother and I we would think, John, oh John, would you please shut up? And his great grandmother would say, oh, leave the boy alone. He may be a singer one day. And my aunt says, no, mommy, he not gonna be no singer. And then she says, well, you know what? I'm very proud of him. He is a singer and he is an actor. And moments like that stick with me because it's a testament to the hard work that I've put in, the having the dream, and then having somebody who I had in my mind what I wanted my future to be, and maybe couldn't articulate it and didn't have all the tools to develop the skills. But there was somebody who recognized that there was at least something there, that it could be something one day. And I harken back to that moment to now. And my grandmother said to me maybe about a year ago, you can really sing. She said, boy, I'd be trying to sing everything from the phone book to something, something, if because you really put time and effort into that. Like, you really can sing. And I'm not just saying that because I'm your grandmother. Oh, you mean business.
Oh yeah, she does. She's
Okay.
trying to like also do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And she's doing that, but with the yellow
With
pages,
the yellow
and it's like, and you're like, I'm doing it with
with
everything.
everything.
Yeah, my original songs to
Mhm.
5 to CC Peniston. So that's the beautiful thing about that. It's like your grandmother saw something in you early enough. But instead of being like, yeah, we hear him all the time and I agree with you,
Mhm.
shut him up. She's like, no, because one day he could do this. And I think having somebody like support you and allow you to grow into a space to become that,
Yes.
you had that opportunity to do that. I think that's such a beautiful thing because most people are like, yeah, whatever, like, kind of dismiss it. Like, yeah, they're passionate about it, but I don't give two
Yeah.
shits. Like, she was like, no, like, this is something he wants.
Maybe
Who
something.
knows? And she allowed that to like have you live your dream and
Mhm.
be supportive of your dream.
Yep.
I think that's incredible. I love your grandparents.
They alright. No, no, no.
I feel like they're cool people.
No, I love them. They it's definitely for anybody who has been raised by their grandparents, you know that it is a honor and a privilege, and it is it, it's a double relationship because they're your parent, they're your parental figure, but then they're also your grandparents. So it's the added layer of that. But I would, you know, I think we all go through stuff in life, and sometimes you think, God, why did that happen, or why did this turn out that way? But as you get older, you really do understand that a lot of the things that happen to you happen for you,
Yes.
and when you begin to move with that, it's like, oh, okay, I understand. So.
I love that. I love that. Now we're gonna wrap up. But when you said things happen to you, but they actually happen for you, what's gonna happen for you in 2023?
Well, in 2023,
Do hold on, where to go? Do tell. Tell us.
2023, we have new music. 2023, I will be on the big screen at least once, but maybe 2 to 3 more
Put that
times.
second finger back up. Yeah, don't just be like, no.
Mm.
It- Two, two, well, I gotta do it. Two, no, well, it doesn't make sense. Two plus, that's not even a plus sign. I can't do
Ah! Three times. Ah!
Or maybe I should
Um,
do like this is the two and then this is the plus. Who am I? Okay, I gotta go home. I'm home, but like I gotta go home.
um,
Okay, so what else is gonna happen for you?
for me, just being a blessing to other people through my art. I think that is the biggest. I know that my purpose here on this earth is to be a storyteller and an encourager. And so it's always speaking of not being afraid to tell any character that I'm afforded the opportunity to be a vessel for. That's number one. And to speak life into people too, because we're all going through stuff. And so continue to encourage people in life, because as far as I know, we only get this one life to live, and we could all find something that we could cry about, a memory from the past, something that we're going through right now. There could be just one thing we could break down and put us in a loony bin, because it's just that heart wrenching. But you have to keep going, because sometimes things happen in your life so that you're strong enough to bear it where somebody else may not be. And if they look at you and say that, "Hey, Katie, you survived this, or you got through this, or you did this. Beau, you did this. I can do it too. I can be better. I can make it." And so that's my purpose here. And so I'm just going to be doing bigger, better, greater things in 2023 and beyond. But I will be on screen, and that will lead to some of my Screen Actors Guild stuff, and be on my way. So and hopefully little boys and little girls can look to me and say, "Hey, he did it." He may not have been 19 when it happened, but it can happen at any age. You could be 47 like Leslie Jones. You could be 33. You could be 35. You could be 43 like Viola Davis, or 42 like Mahershala Ali, and then turn around and get 2 Oscars in less than 3 years. You never know.
It's incredible. I know, but I think it's also nice because I'm like, we're sitting here, like, I'm telling you, okay, I have CC Peniston stuck in my head now, since the moment that you did that. Hopefully, younger generations, like, if they ever are on a platform like this and they're interviewing their friends or they're doing whatever, they're going to be like, oh my God, remember that Beaux Emerson song? Oh, it's
Yeah,
like, that's the level that you want to be,
absolutely.
I'm like, oh, she's stuck in my head. Now I'm going to be like, you make me better, better, like in my
Hey,
head,
than I ever been. Yes, yes, yes. That was the
you
very
know,
first. Yeah.
that's what I want for you. And like, also, very quick side note, and really will wrap this up because this is approaching 2 hours, and I
Oh,
know that you have so much stuff to do. Um, but I just want to thank you for always being such a super supporter of me and
oh,
also my antisocial playlist because I know that you're always like promoting it, sharing
yeah,
the love, doing all the stuff. And then you were the guest of the month for
yeah.
December, which was well overdue. I'm like, how have I not had you on, first of all? I'm gonna have you on for a non-Christmas song version, but I thought it was really nice because you have a Christmas song, Silent Night, that it was also made the cut of the 8 songs that you get to choose. So I was like, yes. No, so thank you for doing that. And then
Of
immediately I
course.
get a text message from Cece. Well, Chris Brown wasn't on there. You have to let me do a second playlist because she was November's guest. Well, I'm not gonna
Oh.
Christmas-fy this whole Q4 playlist.
Hmm.
So I'll have you do another one, but like just know in spirit it's there. So I was dying laughing. So I'm like, great. I'm
Funny.
glad that other people want to continue. Like it's the revisit, the recurring people. So I will have you back on the playlist. I have Cece back on the playlist. All love, but you always show me love no matter what. So thank you for that.
It's the feeling. It's mutual again because I know you're in life. I know you in real life, and I know it's genuine. And also, you know, I was walking behind. Where was I? And I was walking. They had an antisocial. They had an antisocial social club. Sweat. I was in the market, ironically enough, and they had the antisocial social club. It was a sweat a hoodie, and I was like, oh, Katie needs merch.
Yes.
Katie needs merch, which then led me back into, well, Bo, where's your merch? Which led me into, didn't you have a website that you're supposed to finish? And I said, well, now you know what? Let me stop talking to myself, because the V inside is getting me together. So I need let me stop.
Yes. And that's why you need to hire somebody to do the groceries so you have time to finish the website. Most of my ideas come to me when I'm in the shower. Like, I shit you not. I'll be like lathering up and then, oh my God, that is such a great idea. Why? I don't know. Maybe that's the only time I have a clear head. I'm like, I don't know. Or like on the drive home, I'm like, magic. I
Well, you
think,
already know you already know what we've discussed in terms of the antisocial weekend, which that's going to work itself out in the future. I wholeheartedly believe that. So that's coming.
I
I
got to get my Issa Rae mindset going and come up with like fundraising ideas and acts to then harass and be like, please do this. So one day, I mean, who knows when that will come, whether it's next year, 5 years from now. But I know that you were a very firm believer and you were actually the one that brought that idea to my attention and believed in me from literally the inception of it. So when it happens, you will be performing
of
at
course,
my festival. And yeah, we're gonna make that happen.
because if we can have Made in America, if we can have South
Governor's
by
ball.
Southwest, if we can have we can have all we can have Summer Jam, we can have because there are a lot of first of all there are a lot of people who are introverts, and then there's also extroverts, but then there's also people who are antisocial that you know leave me alone, give me my music, give me my vibey stuff, and I'm good.
Yes,
Whole section of people.
I just had an idea in my head. I'll tell you off camera. But no, I'm kidding. No, but I'm so excited that I got to have you back as a guest, season 6, the revisit.
You visit.
I'm so excited. But thank you for all your time. I love and appreciate
Thank
you. And
you.
be talking to you in like probably by tomorrow, so it's all good.
And Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, and if you don't celebrate anything, just have a good time with family and friends and loved ones and all that good stuff.
Yes, and you can find Beau on Instagram and every other platform, including Solitaire, at Beaux Emerson.
And Uno.
And sometimes Operation, if
Operation.
you get the special edition. And Monopoly, the Millennial Edition, where you can only pass go, and you're so lucky if you collect $200 because you cannot buy anything. Okay, so that's where we're at in life. Yeah.
We're making it.
Oh my God, I love you so much. I
Love
will
you
talk
too.
to you soon. Thank you. Thank you. All
All right.
right, peace out.
Bye.